So we're looking at, with in mind that we're moving kind of deeper into spring, a kind of a spring clean for your bodies and minds. So obviously within our practice, this is something obviously that comes into it all the time, in terms of the breathing, in terms of taking time to relax and be still. Obviously these are kind of practices that are beneficial for your mind. If we're thinking of stress and anxiety being kind of toxic to the body. So those aspects in terms of your mind, in terms of your body, a little bit more focus on twists, which help to, good morning, which help to stimulate the digestive system. So, and that in turn kind of stimulates digestion and elimination. And obviously that's on a physical level, but your physical always relates to your emotional and mental. So it's just kind of a generalized focus on spring cleaning. So actually we're going to start laying down, and we're going to come to full yogic breath, so that we're really kind of making the most of taking a deep, full breath. So we're spring cleaning, Tasha and Carol. So if we come down to laying, come down to laying. And then just get comfy. Yeah, get comfy. So knees bent, legs outstretched, whichever's comfortable. Just let the arms relax. So take a couple of natural breaths. Just to kind of tune in and slow down, so especially if you're kind of rushing around or have been rushing around. And when you start to feel a little more settled, just come into a full yogic breath. So breathing into the belly, expanding, drawing that into the ribs, top of the breath around the top of the chest, around the collarbones. So a nice kind of full deep breath, filling the lungs completely. And then with the exhalation, really kind of emptying the lungs completely, softening the belly, releasing around the ribs, and then around the upper chest, around the collarbones. And then just kind of following the breath, really thinking about lengthening, deepening the breath as much as you can. So this is helping to kind of cleanse, to clear the respiratory system, getting rid of any residual carbon dioxide that gets kind of trapped at the base of the lungs. If you're kind of an upper chest breather, we're not kind of fully getting into the base of the lungs. So these kind of full yogic breaths that really use the whole of the lungs are helping to kind of detox and to cleanse the respiratory system. So use the count, use the following of the breath to focus your mind. When we're thinking about spring, we're very much thinking about out with the old and in with the new. So you can almost kind of think that as you're working with your breath, as you're breathing in or breathing in that fresh breath of spring. And as you're breathing out, you're thinking about kind of letting go and creating space, because ultimately that's what letting go means, that you're creating space to welcome in something new. The Spring Equinox is a festival of balance and potential. So on the day itself, obviously, was the equal light, equal dark night day. But as we move deeper into spring, it's that potential for all the possibilities, all that could come. We'll just do this maybe 3 more times, following a long breath in, filling those 3 parts of the lungs, and then emptying and releasing, letting go with the out breath. And then just your last breath, next breath, last breath, or last full yogic breath. And then you're releasing the shaping, so releasing the full yogic breath, just coming back to your natural way of breathing. And then we can just bring the knees in towards the chest, so just hugging the knees in. That's it. So a little rock maybe side to side, that feels good. The low back. And then what we'll do is we're just going to lower the knees towards the floor, but we're going to kind of work with that control around the belly, around the core. So you can have your arms out to the side, so straight out, or maybe bent at the elbows, and just breathing in while the knees are to center. And then as you're breathing out, you're just going to hover the knees to the left side. So it's not going to go all the way down. You're going to keep the back of the shoulders connected. So that goes with your out breath. Feel the stretch, but still working with the belly. Breathing in as you come back to center. So you can, again, still kind of make it a slow, controlled movement. Breathing out as you're hovering the knees towards the right side. So it's not quite the same as when we do our spinal twist and we're relaxing. So we're keeping hold around the abdominals, coming back to center with the in-breath. But you should still feel that stretch through the spine and then maybe across the hips, outer hips. So we'll do that again. One more time each side. So just hovering to the left. And you're breathing in, bringing the knees back to center. With the out breath, allowing the knees to go to the right. That's it. Nice stretch. And then coming back to center. So when you've done both sides, then bringing the knees back to the middle. That's it. Good. And then we're going to just stretch the right leg up. So you're going to flex through the right heel, so the right foot. You can just kind of rest the left foot down onto the mat. You can extend the leg out if you want to, or just kind of leave it as is. And just maybe hold where it's comfortable to hold around the back of that leg. And we're just going to point and flex. Okay, so just working any kind of tightness out around the ankles in particular. Stay with the breath, so be aware of breathing. And then maybe circling around the ankle. So maybe a little bit of popping, cracking. I feel quite stiff actually. It's a small movement, but I find it really goes into the shin. It's quite tight in the shin. So it's actually quite a nice way to, if you do kind of, if you do feel any kind of tightness there, to get in. So one way, the other way, just however kind of feels to move. And then we'll just stop, come back to center, and then we're going to change over to the other side. So bringing the right knee in, extending the left leg up, maybe just taking the foot back onto the mat or extending out straight. And the same, so you're just holding, so you're supporting around the leg. You will obviously feel the stretch into the hamstrings, and then a little kind of point and flex as much as you can. I mean, you might feel okay, but I find that quite intense actually. Especially in the morning before you kind of moved around that much. Everything sort of feels a little bit tighter, I find. And then when you've done a few pointing and flexing, then just take a few circles again. You can go one way or the other, sort of mix and match. Just kind of connect, that's it, with how the ankles are feeling. Staying with the breath as well, so remembering to breathe. And then just coming back to center, we're going to bring that knee back in, or that leg back in. We're going to cross at the ankles, so knees towards the chest, crossing at the ankles, and then just bringing ourselves up to sitting up, or you can come onto your side if that feels better for your back. Okay, very good. Okay, so we're going to come to center. I'm going to offer you kind of two possibilities. So we're going to look at a forward fold. I'm not sure how comfortable the first one will be, but if it's available to you, then work with that. So this is Triyang Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. Bit of a mouthful, 3-limbed forward fold, and it literally is just taking that leg. So you're sit bones to the floor, but it's quite strong on the knee. So if that is not a pleasant position, come to Janu Shirshasana. Okay, so you'll work more into the hip. So this is obviously what we were quite often doing. So this should be okay for everybody. If this is not okay, so you're not sitting on the heel, you're sitting like Virasana, so hero pose, but that is quite a strong pose. So the heel is to the outside. Flesh can still be from the sit bone, so choose the option that works for you. And if it ceases to be comfortable, then change it, then change the positioning of the foot. Just breathing the arms up and then folding forward. So you're just going to come, so that let the hands rest maybe to the floor. If you're feeling nice and limber already, you can go a little deeper, but just kind of find that point of resistance, so you're not overstretching, just kind of on where your body's at this moment, and just hold the position and breathe into it. So forward bend, obviously you're stretching into the spine as well. It's pretty intense hamstring stretch. Again, if you're in your 3-limb forward fold, then it's quite strong around the knee, so just kind of bear that in mind. So we'll just take a few breaths here. So every time we're stretching, we're helping to release anything that's kind of stuck. So it can be obviously on a physical level, depending on what you've been doing, or it can be emotional level, especially around the hips, hamstrings, kind of holding stuff there. So this in itself, the stretching in itself, is helping to kind of clear the body, detox the body. If you're a little deeper into it, you might even feel your belly onto your thigh, possibly. Just take a couple more breaths here. And then you're just going to ease yourselves up to sitting up. Okay, so and I'm going to give you two options from here. So if you know that you're comfortable with half lotus, we're going to come into Bharadvajasana, so Bharadvaja's pose. So the possibility to bring the extended leg straight into half lotus. Okay, so again, this knee will have to be comfortable. If this is not going to be available, then you're taking the leg under. So all it is with Bharadvaja is that instead of sitting onto the heels, you're sitting to one side. Okay, so you're either here with the heels, both heels on one side, or you're into your half lotus. Okay, but don't force it, just kind of see how everything feels. So always be mindful of the knees. So wherever you're at, we're going to come into a twist. So you're turning towards the right. So one hand onto the knee, or maybe the back of the hand over the knee, shoulders are relaxed, one hand either behind you to support, or if you're in half lotus and you can find the foot, then you can wrap your right hand or arm around to find those toes. Okay, it is obviously advancing it, so you just see how you feel. So either the hand to the floor, or if you're in half lotus, reaching around to find the toes. But think about relaxing the shoulders, lifting up through the chest, and breathing as deeply as you can. So it's not a closed twist, so you've not got the leg against you, but you still might feel a little restricted. So you're just breathing as deeply as you can. We'll just take a couple more breaths here. Okay, and then coming slowly back to center. That's it, good. And then we're going to do the same to the other side. So if you were in Janu Shirshasana, then this leg is actually in the right position. So that leg extended. So your left leg extended, right leg bent. If you were okay with the other one, with a very long name, you can bring that leg into this position. Okay. Again, don't force it. So make sure you're doing the other side, breathing the arms up, and then folding forwards. And again, just finding your hands to rest first of all, and leaning into it, and just kind of breathing at that point of resistance. So it should just feel like a nice deep stretch. So nothing over challenging. And again, if the knee starts to feel uncomfortable, then just change the position. There is a lot going on in this pose. It always looks easier, I think, than it is. But it's healthy knees. If your knees are kind of healthy to begin with, it's a healthy kind of a good position to keep the knee joint happy, healthy. But obviously, if there's existing problems, then it's not a good position. So we'll just take a couple more breaths here. That's it, good. And then we're just gonna come up to sitting up, and then the same options, that top leg or the extended leg rather might come into half lotus, or it might just slot underneath. Okay, so either way, it's the same twist through the upper body. It's just whether you add an extra challenge to the hip or ankle in the knee, really. Okay, so one hand possibly behind, or if it's available, the bind. You don't have to though. See how that feels. That's it. So thinking about sitting up nice and tall. Breathing fully, deeply as you can. So gaze towards the back shoulder. Feeling that release or that twist rather from the belly button upwards. And then coming slowly back to center, releasing. And then we'll come on to all fours. So we're just going to come into a few cat cows, and then yeah, we've got time to thread the needle. I think just a few cat cows. So breathing in, gazes forwards, breathing out, and then you're tucking under. So just feel that stretch across the low back, across the upper back, chin towards the chest, stretch the back of the neck. We'll just do 2 more breaths like this. So breathing in, gazes forward, breathing out, tucking under. Slowing or connecting the movement with the breath. Okay, and then coming back to center. And we'll just take a couple of breaths each side with a thread the needle. So you're going to take your right hand behind the left. So come this way on right hand behind the left, and just threading through, so the side of the face is coming down, possibly to the mat. You can come onto a block, or you can just kind of hover or head on the hands. So just again, feel that release through the upper back. You don't have to thread through too far, so be mindful of the shoulder if there's any discomfort. So just one more breath here. Coming slowly back to center. That's it, good. And then threading the other hand through, and then just take a couple of breaths, a couple of kind of slow breaths, deep breaths. Feel that release into the upper back in particular. And then coming slowly again back to center. So also moving slowly out of twists. And then we'll pop up into downward facing dog. So tucking the toes, popping yourself up. Just taking a moment here, really. So feel that stretch, back of the legs, through the spine. Okay, good. And then we'll bring the feet to the hands. So you're going to come, that's it, to the top of the mat. So we'll take a couple of breaths in Uttanasana, so our standing forward fold. Find that balance through the soles of the feet, so not too much into the heels, not too much into the toes, somewhere in the middle. And we're actually going to come into Paravritta Uttanasana, so I might come forward facing. It's super simple, literally just that we're going to take the right hand to come across to the left low leg. So you take that right hand to the left low leg, and then you turn to your left side. That's it. That's it. So you can have the hand to the hip, or you can extend the arm up. So it's a little bit of a revolved standing forward fold. Let the shoulders relax. Remember, you can have the hand to the hip if it feels better. Just take another breath, and then come slowly back to center. Just nod, shake the head. And we'll do the same to the other side. So taking the other hand across, so opposite. So if you did your right, then it's your left now. That's it. Left hand, low leg, turning to your right side, hand to the hip or arm extended. So just see, that's it, how it feels. Remembering to breathe. So breathing while you're here. And then turning back to center. Maybe just kind of dangle a little, sway, and take the elbows if that feels better. Feel that release through the spine. And then we'll just take the hands to the hips. So when you're ready, hands to the hips, and we'll just come up super slow to standing. Okay. Good. So we're going to come, let me just adjust this. Got my spring leggings on. I'm trying to be comfortable. They're too colourful for winter, so I couldn't bring them out. Might even be too colourful for now. I'm not sure. I'm not used to all this colour. Okay. Just see am I in? Let me just ask a teeny bit. Fiddle with the camera too much. Okay, so Surya Namaskar, to Surya Namaskar A, and the only difference is that when we step back, we're going to come into a twist. So you can have your knee down. Obviously, I'll talk you through it when we're doing it. You can have the knee down, or you can keep the knee off, completely up to you. So standing at the top of the mat, breathing the arms up, breathing in. Exhale, folding forwards. That's it. So hands to rest. Breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing. Stepping back with the right foot. So then either you leave the knee off or you take the knee down. Right hand to the inside. That's it, of the front foot. And then just turning. Okay, so just a little bit of a twist. Good. Coming back to center. And then exactly the same, really, just coming back to plank or modified. So remember, you can have your knees down, your knees off or down, lowering down, opening into your back bend. Again, stay low, come high, however feels good to you. Tucking the toes, pressing back, downward facing dog. And we're going to take a few breaths in downward facing dog. So if for any reason you're feeling a little tired or any kind of issues with the wrist or whatnot, you can always take your knees down, or you can even come to child's pose. So let it be your kind of practice that fits your energy levels and your body. But we'll just take another breath. And then we're going to take the right foot forward. So you can take it out behind first, or you can just step it through. Coming into a twist, so remember, knee off or down, really doesn't matter, it's just kind of whatever feels better for you. Coming back to center, stepping both feet, Uttanasana, top of the mat, breathing in, half lift, exhale, releasing, and then breathing the arms up, and exhale, hands to prayer at the heart center. Okay, so exactly the same, left side, so it's with that twist, breathing in, arms overhead, exhale, folding, so leading with the heart, hands to rest, breathing in, half lift, exhale, releasing, left foot steps back, twisting to the right, that's it, good, coming back to center, back to plank, lowering yourselves down, so elbows staying tight into the sides, opening up, so it's feeling that opening across the heart and then that release across the low back, tucking the toes, pressing back, downward facing dog, and then holding, so whichever position, so down dog, tabletop, or even child, but we'll just take a few breaths here. Nice wide spread of the fingers, thinking of that little kind of shift through the bottom so that you're sticking the bottom out. Nice deep breaths, releasing, relaxing the jaw. And then taking the left foot, so again, possibly out behind, but you can step it straight through. Coming into your twist, so twisting to the left this time, one hand down, one hand up. Coming back to center, both feet together, top of the mat, taking your half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, releasing, breathing the arms up. You can bring them through the center. So if there's any shoulder issues, it might be more comfortable through the center. And then exhale, hands back to prayer. Okay, exactly the same now, going again. So breathing the arms up and overhead. You can take a slight back bend if that's comfortable. Folding forwards, hinging from the hips, hands to rest, breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing, stepping back, right foot, twisting to the left. Double checking my lefts and rights, coming back to center, back to plank or modified. It's a little bit more expansive, isn't it, with the twist? It feels more expansive. Lowering down again, keeping those elbows tight into the side, just to keep them safe. Moving through, opening up through the spine, shoulders away from the ears, so just be aware. Nice long neck. Tucking the toes, pressing back downward facing dog. So feeling that stretch up the back of the legs, along the spine, shoulders away from the ears, so not losing the neck. Again, that opportunity to relax the face. You can even take the tongue to the roof of the mouth and let the jaw relax. If you're a kind of holder of tension around the jaw, that's a nice way to release. Just taking one more breath. Stepping the right foot forwards. So back into your lunge. Twisting to the right side. Remember, the knee can come down, that's fine. Yeah, coming back to center, both feet together, Uttanasana. Breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing, breathing the arms up. And then exhale. Hands to prayer. Last time to the left side, breathing in, arms up. Folding forwards, so that's it from the hips, hands to rest. Breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing. Left foot steps back, twisting to the right. That's it. Come back to center, stepping back, plank. Lowering yourselves down, elbows tighten to the sides. Breathing up into your cobra, up dog, sphinx. It should just feel like a nice release across the low back, shoulders away from the ears, tucking the toes, almost there, pressing back, downward facing dog, taking a few breaths here. Remember, you're extending through those heels. So think about pressing them towards the mat, shifting the hips a little. Nod the head, shake the head, relax the face. Breathing. Shifting that weight into the base of the fingers rather than the heel of the hands. Takes pressure off the wrists. And then setting up left side. So back into your lunge. Twisting to the left. That's it. Coming back to center. Stepping both feet together. Uttanasana, top of the mat. Breathing in, half lift. Exhale, releasing, breathing the arms up. And then exhale, hands to prayer, heart center. They should feel a little, hopefully a little more energized. Grab a drink if you have one. Back a little. So you may want, let me think, yes, a block and possibly a strap, so that it's not imperative, but if you have one nearby, then just kind of have it so that it's near you. You just it's in focus. Okay, so we're going to come to Parsvottanasana. Let me think. So if you have have 1 foot forwards, so it can be your right or your left, as long as you do both sides. That's it. Hips level. Actually, we can put the block in place first of all. So you can have the block to the inside of the front foot. If you don't have a block, it doesn't matter because you can just put your hand to the floor. So either, well, if you're happy to come to reverse prayer, the option is there. So reverse prayer or holding the elbows or even just clasping the hands behind the back. That's a nice kind of heart opener as well. So just kind of see what feels good. That's it. So lifting up, breathing, And then folding forward, so you're leading with the heart. So it's just so you're not kind of in this rounded position, but thinking about keeping the shoulders back and the chest open. And then you'll come to about parallel to begin with. So it might be up a little if it feels like too much weight onto the back, then just don't go too far forwards. Let the neck kind of come into alignment with the rest of the spine. So the chin isn't tucked, the gaze isn't forward. You're just kind of looking beyond the toes where you feel like you're in alignment. So shoulders and hips level as well. Feet facing in the same direction, so no twist of that back foot. Just taking another breath, really thinking or feeling like you're lengthening out through the crown of the head. And then you can release the arms. We'll come down, so pyramid pose, we'll come down into a deeper kind of stretch, got the inversion going on, head below the heart. And just kind of leaning into it. So the hands might be to the floor, might be to the block possibly, or to the low leg. But just let your head and your neck relax here. And just taking a breath. So again, might feel a pretty intense hamstring stretch here. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into a revolved triangle. So you can take your, well, yeah, that hand, your hand to the block, but you're turning towards the front leg. So it's not Trikonasana open, it's closed. So it's a little bit harder. So you can feel that you're going towards that front leg. You might have the hand to the hip. So you're thinking shoulders stacked. Okay, so that's where the block comes into it. Otherwise, you might find that you're kind of a little bit more like this. So the block is there to be helpful, to get you into that alignment. Hand can stay to the hip or it can come up. My shoulder's not happy, so I'm going to keep my hand there. Okay, good. Gaze might be forwards, it might be down. Don't strain the head or the neck. You might turn if you're quite kind of rotated, or if you're rotating through the upper body really, then you might be able to turn the gaze as well. So Parivrtta Trikonasana, really lovely. Some really nice positions there. I always find this quite hard to really get a good twist here. But you're all making it look easy. Okay, we'll just take one more breath and then we'll come back to center. So we can lose the block or just put the block to the side. Just take a moment to kind of adjust so your hips, your spine feel back to neutral. And what we're going to do is we're going to shift the weight into the front foot. We're going to bring the knee, the back leg is going to come into knee in towards the body, so it's coming off, and we're going to come up to standing. So we don't have to stay in the balance, we can fiddle around with. I'm going to come this way anyway, so I can show you what we're doing. So that knee is coming up. I've really got a wall as well. Bringing the knee in towards the chest. Okay. So it doesn't matter if it's not a smooth transition. So I've got my left knee in. So I think some of you have as well. It doesn't matter which one. So whichever one you've done, the point is just that you're going to hold that knee with the opposite hand. So if your right knee is in, you're going to hold the knee with the left hand. If your left knee is in, you're going to hold it with the right hand. Okay. So the knee is coming in towards the chest. You've got your other hand to your hip first of all, and think about turning into that back shoulder. Okay, so rather than facing forwards, you're turning it. So I'm trying to explain it as clearly as possible because I know some of you will be twisted away from me. You're turning and your gaze towards the back shoulder, so like a seated twist. So exactly the same sort of idea, and then that back hand might want to extend out. Okay. And then I don't know if it's even going to work for me, holding the possibility to hold the toes of the leg that's bent. So rather than the knee, finding the toes. Possibility. And then attempting to straighten that leg. So this is where the strap would in theory come in. So mine is only just straight. That is pretty intense. If you wanted to sort of try that with the strap, you can find the strap around the toes, come back into that position. So that knee twist, and then, oh God, Parivrtta Utthita Hasta Palangastasana. Lots of long named poses today. That's it, very good. It's, yeah, it's quite intense across the outside of the leg. There's a lot of tightness generally, I think, when we come into these types of poses. So definitely easier with the strap. And then your gaze in theory is turning towards the backhand. That's it. Yeah, we'll just take one more breath. So wherever you're at, one more breath. And then we can bring that leg in if you extended it. That's it, good. And then let that leg come down. Oh, okay, that was and challenging to link them as well, but I thought, well, we'll get it done all in one go. Okay, so we're going to do the same. We're going to do the same to the other side. So you should, are we okay with our backs? I'm just, yeah, okay. What did we do first? Parsvottanasana. So let me just, I'll come this way so I'll turn towards you. So other foot, whichever one you didn't do. Did I do that one? Hands behind you, possibly. Elbows, prayer, clasped. So thinking nice and open across the chest. Folding forwards. Actually, yeah, your block to the other side or your block near you. Again, you're thinking level hips, level shoulders-ish, just a kind of finding how that feels, to see your hip isn't turned back or your shoulder's not wonky. Thinking of, it's always that back hip or the back leg. It always wants to sit back a little, so draw that level. Head in a comfortable position, so not crunching down, not opening up, but somewhere in the middle where it feels comfortable. And we're just going to take one more breath here before we release the hands and then come deeper into your pyramid pose. So you're going to just kind of let your weight get into the position. Again, hands might be to the mat, maybe to the low leg, maybe to the block. Relax the head, the neck, the shoulders. And then we're going to come into our revolved triangle pose, first of all, Parivrtta. So the block, if you were using it to the inside of that front foot, remember you can have the hand to the floor if you can reach and if you can find that nice alignment. The floor is fine. So you're finding shoulders stacked. You can keep the hand to the hip or you can extend the arm up. Okay, so that kind of rotation, that twist obviously coming from the upper body. The gaze might feel that, might stay down, might come forward, possibly turning up, possibly. That's it, nice, very nice. It is a beautiful pose, especially when it's done so well. It's nice. It's just, yeah. Feels quite, well, I find it feels quite strong to really sort of get that rotation, but just don't strain the head on the neck, so just let it be in a comfortable position. We'll just take another breath here. Good. And then coming back to center, so we can set the block aside. Just take a moment, just sort of kind of find your back sort of neutral from that twist. And then, so we know where we're heading. We're going to be bringing that back knee in. Remember, you don't have to stay down the whole time. Just kind of think about bringing that knee up. So I'm going to turn around. So that knee is coming up in towards the chest. The one that was behind. Taking hold with the opposite hand. That's it. If you need to put the foot down at any time, just put the foot down. Maybe hand to the hip first of all, so you can kind of find that twist. So think about that shoulder turning. That's it, nice. You can, your gaze is again coming to look towards the back, like our seated twist, how you're coming into that position. Possibility of the arm extending. Again, see how your shoulders feel here. And then if you did one side, you might want to try it with or without the strap. I'm going to try without first of all and then probably progress. So, straightening the leg. God. Thank God for straps. That's all I'm going to say. That's it. Really good. That's it. So remembering with the strap, like we do with our sort of non-revolved version of this pose, you're kind of bending in first and then extending so that you're not kind of off center like that. So you're finding your center, strap around the foot, possibly extending and then twisting. That's it. Very nice. So Parivrtta Utthita Hasta Parangasasana. So revolved standing hand to toe pose. Okay, good. Okay, one more breath if you're still there, and then coming back nice and easy to center. We're going to want to counter pose this. We're going to come to Prasarita Padottanasana D. So a nice wide foot position. So as wide as you're comfortable to go. We're going to have the hands to the hips and we're going to fold forward. But what I want you to think about doing, I know sometimes reaching the hands down is the challenge, but if you're quite deep into it, if you're quite simple, quite approachable for you to have your hands down, I want you to think about touching your head down. You don't have to touch your head down, but think of that as the positioning you're getting to. You don't want to end up in the side split, so don't worry. It doesn't literally have to touch you. I mean, it might do, but find your hands to the floor, and then you're thinking about getting the head down towards the floor. Actually, this is Prasarita Padottanasana A with the hands to the floor. It's just because normally I'm kind of getting you to dangle in it, but actually we should be thinking about the head going towards the floor. Okay, and then that kind of it gets you to stand in a wider stance. There's no way you can get your head to the floor if the feet are too close together. So feet are parallel, so there's no twist of the knees. You can have the hands, if the palms are down, then the fingers are pointing in the same direction as the toes, so they're not turned around, the fingers are towards or facing forwards. And you're kind of using that hand pushing into the mat to get a little deeper or head closer to the floor. Okay. Sit there. Yeah. So I think it gives you a little bit more of a sense of what we're doing in the pose if you have that kind of intention. That's it, good. Okay, and then from here we're just gonna release the sort of the deepening of the pose, just kind of release the hands, relax the hands, just so they're either dangling or you're taking hold of the elbows. And then we'll have the hands to the hips, and then we'll come slowly up to standing. That's it. Good. So I find that it just kind of changes the intention of it a little, isn't it? Sometimes it's a pose in and of itself, but I'm always kind of using it as a counter pose because it's kind of relaxing. But actually, if you think about getting the head towards the floor, it's sort of less relaxing, but it gives an intention and for the posture in itself. So we're going to just heel toe in a little, and then we'll come down through a squat. Yes, actually I've come too narrow there. So just coming down through a squat, that's it, and coming in. Okay, so Mula Bandha, drawing up through your perineal area. That's it, shoulders are relaxed. We just take a couple of breaths here, and then we're going to come down onto our bellies, yes. Okay, good. And then just releasing. So come onto your stomachs. We're going to have a look at bow pose. I'm going to bring this or change the. That's it. That stays in focus. Yes. Okay. So coming down to laying. So we've included quite a few more twists than we would normally do. So again, that's the kind of massaging, squeezing of the digestive organ. So that helps with encouraging healthy digestion and obviously elimination. And then that's your kind of detox aspect, but also these postures like this one, bow pose, or locust, where you're on your belly as well, where you've got that compression of the digestive system. So we're going to go for sort of half bow first of all. So you're finding your maybe your right hand to your right foot. If it's difficult to find, you could always use a strap or hold the leggings or trousers, whatever you're wearing. So possibly just holding there if it's difficult to find the foot. You can either keep your forearm to the floor and work more like a back bend, but officially, and if you're comfortable to, you can let the other arm, so if it's your right hand holding the foot, the left arm extended and then coming off. But I'm giving you that option to support yourself if that feels better. Okay, that's it, good. So kicking the foot into the hand, no pinching of the knees. Any discomfort in the knees or any pinching feelings, then don't kick hard into it. Just use that kind of stretch and we'll breathe. So breathing into the belly, so you can feel you're pressing your abdomen into the mat as you're breathing in. And then releasing. And we'll just take another breath here. That's it. And then release the hand, release the foot. Either come back to center with the head, or if it feels better, just let the head go to one side. Okay, so see if it feels better. Okay, and then doing the same to the other side. So it may feel the same, it may feel harder, easier. Left hand, left foot. So this in itself is quite a deep stretch for your quads, so for your thighs. Kicking the foot into the hand, right arm extended or resting to the mat, just to might make it a little bit more accessible, and just taking a couple more breaths here. So Dhanurasana or Ardha Dhanurasana at this point. Half bow. Breathing into the belly, so kind of consciously, purposely breathing into the belly. Pressing against the mat. And then releasing. So release the foot, release the arm. If you had your head to one side, let it come to the other side. If you need to release the back, just wiggle the hips a little to see how that feels. Okay. And then coming back. And then possibility to take hold of both the feet. If that feels too strong, you can either just stay in crocodile pose, which is this. Take a couple of breaths here, or maybe one side, the other side. Okay. But if you're happy, finding the feet, that's it, holding the feet or the ankles, kicking the feet into the hands, and then just using that kind of that movement of the feet kicking into the hands to get a little lift through the upper body. That's it, you can rock if you feel to rock backwards and forwards or side to side. So side to side is I think a little bit more challenging. So just going with the breath. That's it. Good. And you can definitely feel that kind of massaging action, isn't it, for the belly when you're rocking backwards and forwards. So we'll just take one more breath. So whether you're rocking or whether you're just holding the position, and then we'll just release the feet, release the hands, let the legs, that's it, extend out. I'm sure you probably want to wiggle the hips now to release the back, but we'll come slowly back into child's pose in a moment. Just take a moment. So crocodile pose this is. And then we can just take the hands under the shoulders and a slow movement coming back towards child's pose. So be mindful of the low back and how it feels. So just bottom towards the heels. You should feel a nice stretch across the low back. You can have the head to the floor or onto the hands or arms by the sides. Just feel like you're stretching across the low back, so just that forward fold to counteract, counterpose. Okay. And then we'll just slowly come up to sitting up. That's it. Nice. And then we'll come onto our backs and we'll come into our twist. So hopefully you feel a little, it's kind of keeping everything moving, isn't it? Twists and turns and everything. Hopefully that makes you feel a little, or helps you to feel a little lighter in your body as well. So we'll come into a twist, so you can have your knees or feet to the floor or knees to the chest, arms to shoulder height or bent at the elbows, probably a space thing really. And then letting the knees go to the left side. So different from the beginning, we're letting the legs relax. So we're not hovering them, we're letting the knees possibly touch down, or the feet at least, so you've got a little support and then you can relax into it. So you can cross the legs, obviously. Back of the shoulders, stay grounded. Head and the neck relaxes. And just taking a couple more breaths here. Okay, and then coming slowly back to center. If you did cross the legs, then changing the cross. That's it. And then knees to the other side. So it may be that just your feet are touching. It may be that your knees and your feet are touching. Just let them relax. So you're not holding. There's no effort through your belly at all. It's just everything is soft. Head and neck relaxed. Just a couple more breaths here. And then coming slowly back to center. And then finding a comfortable position for Shavasana, for relaxing at the end. Knees can stay bent, legs extended, be warm, be comfortable. Set the arms, hands relax, so however that's comfortable. Just checking in with the shoulders, first of all, that they're not bunched up around the ears, but drawing the shoulders, shoulder blades down. Same with the back. If you feel too kind of arched, just tucking the bottom under a little, just so it feels a little bit more comfortable. Just being aware of your breath. Taking a nice deep breath in. And then with that out breath, just purposely letting go, either sighing out or just really feeling like letting your arms flop, your legs feel heavy. Allow yourself to really be supported here. Mind with the breath, first of all, just following the in breath and the out breath. Sinking a little deeper with each exhalation and coming back to that idea of letting go, making space, out with the old, in with the new. It's the perfect time. It really is the perfect time to do that. And letting go of any holding in the body with each out breath. Finding that softness, that relaxation, that release. And breathing in all that potential, that possibility that goes hand in hand with spring. Just being aware of the feet, resting heavy heels, ankles released, toes. You're aware of relaxing around the lower legs, shins, calves, softness around the knees, thighs relaxed, front, back of the thighs. Really getting heavy around the hips, the bottom, the pelvis, just noticing if there's any holding, and then just allow yourself to sink a little deeper. Relaxing across the belly, so the low belly, around the belly button. And then an awareness of the spine, so the low back relaxing. Connection with the middle of the back and the upper back. Shoulders relaxed. Arms relaxed. Chest, heart softens. Softness around the neck, the throat. Jaw relaxes. So again, if you tend to hold any tightness around the jaw, you can take the tongue to the roof of the mouth. It encourages the kind of jaw joint to relax. Cheeks, eyes, forehead, top of the head, and the ears. Just finding that softness, that stillness, that release. And just read a short poem by Victoria Erickson. And then March swept in with its breezes and rain, readying the lands for spring with scattered bursts of southern colour, rising from the dull ground while announcing their desire to breathe life again. I don't know anything about certainty or being sure or steadiness in this unforgiving world, but I do know about seasons, especially spring. Spring always comes again. Just being aware of resting, maybe following the breath, just the gentle ebb and flow in the breath. Comfort that we get with having these 4 seasons, always having that something to look forward to. Just being aware of taking a deeper breath in, a fuller breath in. That fresh breath of spring. And again, a deeper, fuller breath still. So maybe your full yogic breath, belly, ribs, top of the chest. And then just sending that breath down through the arms, into the fingers, or down the legs, into the toes, and just slowly reconnecting with your body. Small movements back into wrists, ankles. Maybe hugging the knees or taking a full body stretch. And then just kind of layering on. And just gradually coming back to a comfortable seat. So however you're comfortable. Good. Raise it back. Okay, so we'll close with our 3 arms. So hands as you're comfortable to have them. Just take a deep breath in first of all. Exhaling. Taking a deep breath in. And again, deep breath in. Last time, deep breath in. Thank you. So we'll just take our thumbs to the brow center, open mind, and then to the heart center, open heart. So thank you very much for coming. Namaste.